Good morning. It's McCollum on Business, 7 a.m. edition. Of course, for the rest of this week, today, tomorrow, 7 a.m. business shows here as we will be off on Friday. All shows off on Friday. We got to move studios here into a temporary location before we find our permanent one again here coming up. So, morning business shows. We appreciate you joining us here. I'm Stephen McCollum. For the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world this morning. Some interesting stuff out there right now. I told you yesterday when Whirlpool, decided they're going to issue more shares. All that does is basically diminish existing shareholders' values. Well, David Topper, who's a big investor out there, a very influential investor out there, billionaire, founder of Appaloosa Management, of all people, well, he has sent a strongly worded letter to Whirlpool's head, accusing the appliance maker of destroying shareholder value. And he actually went so far as to call for not just new leadership, but also he said he wants, for criminal charges to be put out there, pushed for criminal charges in that letter. So that's breaking right now here as well in the business world. And look, we'll get you updated on what the market's doing, the pre-market trading as well, and stocks that are catching our attention, and of course, national and local stories. That's big news there from a shareholder for Whirlpool. Let's see what else is out there with the Market Watch. And pre-market here so far. Pre-market, of course, starts at 6:30 Eastern, 4:30 our time. Everything is up today on the pre-market as well. So as you can see on your screen there, Dow Jones pre-market, pre-trading, it's up 241 points right now for it to 49,391, or 92 is what it just changed to. Then you got the S&P 500 futures. It's at 29 points right now to 69.16. NASDAQ futures are also up today, up 111 points right now for the NASDAQ, and easily hitting, I apologize for our link there as well, it's still down, but 25,141 for the NASDAQ. The Russell 2K, that small cap index, 20 points up right now, 2671. So everything is up today. There was a big comeback on the market yesterday as the day went on as well. NVIDIA, Oracle shares all gained yesterday as well, gaining this morning as we're getting those reports here later on today as well in terms of NVIDIA out there. Bitcoin, well, I guess you could say this is a rebound, right? Up 2,200 points right now, but still in that mid 60,000 range, 66,302 right now for Bitcoin as well. And look, a lot of interesting things around. I'm just reading a lot of cryptocurrency stuff on trying to figure out where it's going to go, what the history says about it, which there isn't a ton of history, but there is history on this, and it is fascinating to see what's happening here with Bitcoin. Stocks we're paying attention to right now. Let's go with some local flavor companies here. Of course, GoDaddy started here at one time, and that'll be our first stock we're looking at right now. Yesterday, it ended up 5.17% up yesterday. Here in pre-market trading, though, down 9% here for GoDaddy as well. The problem is, well, their forecasted annual revenue is now below estimates, is what they did yesterday. They did cite slow AI-related adoption. GoDaddy said it expects its revenue to come in between $5.19 billion and $5.27 billion this year. The consensus estimate, $5.28 billion. So they just flat out came below it. And GoDaddy, 9% down here in pre-market trading here. And they blamed AI adoption being slow as the reason. Then let's go to another local company as well, First Solar out there. They're, of course, solar technology company. They build a lot of the grids and things. Well, yesterday they finished 0.44% up. Yes, folks, look at this giant downgrade here as well. They're down 17% here this morning in pre-market trading. It's, of course, based off of weak fourth quarter earnings results for this company, but also weak full-year guidance as well that they put out there. First Solar said they earned $4.84 per share for the quarter. Well, analysts expected $5.15 per share. Revenue came out at $1.68 billion dollars. That did beat the expectation there of $1.56 billion dollars in terms of the revenue side. But for the full year, First Solar guided revenue to come out between 4.9 and 5.2 billion. That obviously is significantly lower than the 6.12 billion dollars that analysts expected out there. I don't think it's a surprise that First Solar struggling. We knew with this with the Trump administration and his unreliance here on green energy and things like that was going to hurt these solar companies. But big downgrade here, at least on the stock here and pre-market trading for First Solar this morning. And then let's go up to Scottsdale here and look at Axon Enterprise. You know them, they're building that big headquarters up in Scottsdale. A big fight happened up there. Tasers, body cameras, etc. Well, they're pre-market trading. They're up 16% here in pre-market trading this morning as well. They finished yesterday 4.50% up as well on top of that. Axon says that it sees 2026 revenue growth. They said it's going to range between 27 and 30% on a year-over-year basis. Analysts were just expecting a 25.8% increase for them, so they came out above numbers as well. Axon did say their fourth quarter adjusted earnings of $2.15 per share. Well, the estimate was $1.60 per share, so they blew that number out of the water. They had revenue of $797 million. The expectation was only $755 million, so they blew that out of the water as well. And that's why Axon, three local companies, two doing all right here. I guess, one's doing really good in pre-market trading. One's doing all right, even though it's down. And then one, of course, downright tanking here on this Wednesday morning. Later on, when we come back, we talked yesterday on the business show about Lucid Group and their layoffs of 12% of their workforce. Manufacturing down in Casa Grande reportedly is safe as the reporting that we had yesterday. So we'll look at their stock here coming up as well. So we'll keep that local flavor going. We're going to look at Lowe's, of course, the home improvement company out there as well. We're going to look at their stock. And then remember that the stablecoin issuer that just got on the stock market here this or end of last year, middle of last year, Circle. Well, we're going to look at their stock as well here as a stablecoin issuer, just partly because of just what's happening around the cryptocurrencies and that type of a market here today. So we'll look at them also coming up here. But first, let's get into some updated stories as well that's happened overnight. And, we do have some consumer confidence news out there. And the Conference Board did come out Tuesday afternoon, and they said its consumer confidence index did rise last month to 91.2. This would be for February, the month we're in, but this month here, from an upwardly revised 89 last month. Remember in January, consumer confidence, literally the bottom fell out underneath it? Well, we're getting some gains back here in February as well. So this is a measure of Americans' short-term expectations for their income, business conditions in the job market. Well, that specific one rose 4 points, and it went up to 72. Obviously, still well below the 80. That is kind of the market you want to see an 80 or above number. And it's been below 80 for a while as well, right? So the 80 points there, anything below 80 can signal a recession is on its way or upcoming. And it's been under 80 for a while. 13th consecutive month that reading has come in under that 80 market. No recession. I mean, some would argue when recessions happen, but overall, a recession apparently is not in the cards here so far. So we're kind of flirting with that difference there. The measure of consumers' assessments of their current economic situation, well, that actually fell by 1.8 points. It fell down to 120 for a rating as well. Respondents' references to prices and inflation, they were little changed actually in this reporting, but they still are elevated. So no change, but definitely not coming down here in terms of better improvement in terms of those outlooks. Mentions of trade and politics did increase with this reporting, but references to labor market conditions, they have eased because there are perceptions in this consumer confidence report the job market has improved modestly here in February as well. And don't forget, we're still in this no hire, no fire economy out there as well, right? Say that to all the people being laid off and companies shutting down, but that's the economy we're in right now. And there's some confidence still, at least in the job market, is supposedly improving out there. So big and consumer confidence numbers here, and it certainly is way better than what it was in January last month as well. So there we go. And look, Supreme Court's making a lot of rulings right now. We know about the tariff one it came out with on Friday, and here's an interesting one. What happens if you don't get your mail? The post office just says, we're not shipping you. We don't like you. We're not shipping you your mail. Well, a divided Supreme Court yesterday ruled that Americans cannot sue the U.S. Postal Service, even when employees deliberately refuse to deliver your mail. This story just fascinates me because when I tell you about this lawsuit later on, I'm going to tell you what happened yesterday. When I tell you what this lawsuit's about, uh, yikes. Be nice to your mail carriers is the bottom line here. By a 5-4 vote, by the way, the justices did rule against a Texas landlord who did allege her mail was intentionally withheld for 2 years. Now, so the person that did sue, there's some racial undertones on this. She is black as well, but she claimed racial prejudice did play a role in postal employees' actions. Now, listen to the whole story here before you make any judgments. But Justice Clarence Thomas, who did write for the majority of 5 conservative justices, he said that the federal law that generally shields the postal service from lawsuits over missing, lost, or undeliverable mail, well, he says that that specific law does include the intentional non-delivery of mail as well, even though it doesn't say it. They're lumping it into that side. Your post office folks can literally say, "I'm not sending you this important legal document that was sent to you via mail." There's nothing you can do about it. So, in dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, she wrote that while the protection against lawsuits is broad, it does not extend to situations when the decision not to deliver mail was written by or driven by malicious reasons, is what she wrote. So, your post office, if you want to believe this story of the landlord, can flat out be racist or, just revenge against you as well by hiding your mail out there and nothing you can do about it. That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Justice Neil Gorsuch did join his 3 liberal colleagues in dissent as well. Here's the case. I'm going to lay it out to you here. You make your judgment. So the person that filed it there, like I said, is a real estate agent and an insurance agent. She claims that 2 employees of the post office over in Euless, Texas, which is part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. So you know where we're talking about in Texas. We're not talking about Podunk, Texas. We're talking about big city Metroplex here. She says that the post office deliberately did not deliver mail belonging to her or her tenants because, as she alleged here, they didn't like that she is black and owns multiple properties. So then the dispute began when the landlord there discovered the mailbox key for one of her rental properties had been changed without her knowledge, preventing her from collecting and distributing tenants' mail from the box. When she contacted the local post office, well, she was told that she wouldn't receive a new key or regular delivery until she proved she owned the property. It's not the post office decision to make. She did so. She did prove it. The documents say, according to this lawsuit, but the mail problems did continue, despite the USPS Inspector General instructing the mail to be delivered. So this person went and she continues to allege the employees marked some of the mail as undeliverable or even returned to sender instead of, taking it to her. She also said that her tenants failed to receive important mail, things like bills, medication, car titles, according to the lawsuit as well. She also claims she lost rental income because some tenants actually moved out due to the situation as well. Whether you believe what happened there or not, that's not the point of the story here. What we learned yesterday is the Supreme Court says your postal service can just decide not to do their job and they can get away with it. That's what you learned yesterday. And wow. Nothing persuades into government stereotypes like this right here. Post office today. Everybody in the post office today can just put their feet up and say, yeah, we're not doing that. And you can't sue them or do anything about it. And I can tell you also, reading into this lawsuit, the people weren't fired either for doing these actions. still work. I don't know if they work at that one, but they were never fired, at least according to the post office. Yikes. Yeah. So the time about we get rid of that post office and just stick with FedEx or something like that, right? Hey, for those of you that love Waymo out there, you as you travel around the United States and soon a European destination, maybe. Well, you're going to have more options here for Waymo as well because Waymo announced yesterday they're going to start sending those robo taxis. That, of course, we were one of the first markets, if not the first market here on Waymos, and they're everywhere around town. But they're going to start going out into four more cities throughout Texas and Florida. So obviously expanding the territory covered by the Waymo fleet of those self-driving cars. So it's going to be 10 major U.S. metropolitan markets officially as this rollout goes on. So they're moving into Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Orlando, Florida officially now. So it does widen Waymo's early lead and big early lead in autonomous driving. All the competitors out there are just getting started or struggling to get started. Like Tesla's robo taxis, just in Austin, moving into California, and Arizona's coming here soon, but way behind Waymo as well. Don't forget about Zoox, right? Amazon's company. They're still testing their vehicles in only a few U.S. cities out there. And Waymo is just like, let's expand, let's keep going. Waymo's robo-taxis already provide more than 400,000 weekly trips in 6 metropolitan areas. And they've been transporting, like I said, passengers here in San Francisco area for a long time. But obviously they're in Phoenix, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Miami, Atlanta, and they just started in Austin, Texas. I believe it was last year. It was in that time frame as well. Waymo operates its service through its own app in all of the U.S. cities, except for Atlanta and Austin. In Atlanta and Austin, you have to summon your Waymo through the Uber app in those two cities there. But Waymo is way ahead of their competition, and if you travel and you love yourself a Waymo, well, you're going to have more options here coming up. Waymo does have a goal to surpass 1 million weekly paid trips by the end of 2026. They haven't specifically identified where they're going to roll out next, but Waymo is targeting a list of 8 other cities. Las Vegas, to me, is a no-brainer, right, to go into if you're already in Phoenix and LA. So Las Vegas is a city they've looked at. Washington, Detroit, Boston as well. But like I said, even if you're going overseas, availability is going to be probably the first place overseas will be London here. We don't know when or what time, but we do know that they've kind of looked at those cities as well coming up. So if you're a Waymo fan, here you go. You're going to have some more options here coming up during your travel. And for those of you that take the GLP-1 drugs, whether it's for weight loss, whether it's for diabetes, or the multiple things that these GLP-1 drugs are good for, some new news coming for you as well. Now, you have to wait till the beginning of 2027 to see these benefits, but Novo Nordisk did announce yesterday, and they have plans to cut the list price of its popular drugs, Ozempic and Wegovy, by as much as 50% in the United States next year. That's good news, right? If you need to take these drugs, because they're super expensive now, even with these price cuts leading up to this year. They indicated the price cuts will be effective on January 1st, 2027. And why are we waiting till then? Well, that timing does coincide with the new lower prices for Ozempic and Wegovy under the Medicare plans for those older Americans. That's the negotiation that's been going on with the Trump administration and Trump RX, for instance. The company's announcement did indicate the list price for various doses of its Ozempic and Wegovy medicines will be lowered to $675. Again, that's a 50% price cut for Wegovy, 35% for Ozempic from the current level that they're at now. The price cuts do also apply to Wegovy and the Rebelus pills that are out now as well. So they will cover these new pills there. So, these drugs, these GLP-1 drugs have semaglutide in them. That's the main active ingredient. It has received FDA approval as medicine with adults for obesity. That's for the Wegovy one. Because I get asked all the time, people go, what's the difference? Aren't they the same? They're basically the same medicine. But Ozempic, though, is approved. So Wegovy's for weight loss. Ozempic is approved for type 2 diabetes specifically. And then Ozempic injections, they're FDA approved for type 2 diabetes. and chronic kidney disease as well. Wegovy and Ozempic are approved for comorbid cardiovascular disease. So they do multiple things just besides a weight loss out there. And well, but here's the good news is there's a 50% price cut coming next year. Bad news, well, the pricing will not impact direct to patient or self pay prices for consumers at all. At least that's the story as of now. But for those of you with the insurance and list pricing, it just means it drives down that price here for you, hopefully, as well. And we're going to do a follow up here in the airline industry. This is a company that said they had to shut down. They're going to have to shut down unless they can merge. They need an influx of money. Well, now Spirit Airlines parent company says it expects to exit Chapter 11 bankruptcy in late spring or early summer. So we're talking just a few months here as well. They did strike a preliminary deal with its lenders and secured creditors that provides the support needed in its bid for restructuring here in its second bankruptcy within 2 years. This is an early stage agreement, so it's not nothing official yet, but it would help Spirit finalize changes to its fleet, the route network, which we know they've already cut a bunch of flights back, but also its cost structure. That way, it's going to allow it to emerge as a new Spirit out of bankruptcy. So they're going to be a smaller, leaner carrier, still focused on offering low fares, but they're going to have more options like premium economy. Its version of first class seating with more legroom for it. Low cost airlines are struggling because flyers are looking for those premium editions. That's why Southwest has made all its changes and stuff like that. They want that extra revenue. And look, there's no doubt about it. Spirit and these low cost airlines have to get involved in that as well for that extra revenue. Well, Spirit's working out of it. They were signaling death just a few months ago. Now hey, we're coming out of it. I'm not dead yet. Favorite Monty Python skit right there is he says you're dead. I'm not dead yet. Hey, when we come back here on this morning McCollum on Business, well, we'll keep it rolling here as well. Get into some local stories. We already told you we're going to look at Lowe's and a few other companies here as well. We're going to look at Lucid stock as we know they're at the layoffs and everything, but some other news for Lucid, so we'll check them out. So come on back, folks. It's McCollum on Business, Wednesday edition. And we're back here, McCollum on Business Wednesday edition. Of course, a morning business show here as well today and tomorrow, 7 a.m. We're doing some moving and things and packing up here in the afternoons, getting ready to go to our new temporary studios here coming up. We are off on Friday to facilitate the move and get set up so we can be rocking and rolling here come Monday as well. So morning shows here next couple of days, of course, today, tomorrow, 7 a.m. Then Monday, we'll be back, a normal 11 o'clock time here on Monday as well. I think we're getting closer to pulling the trigger on a more steady time for the show, whether it be morning or afternoon or vice versa. we are looking for somebody to do a second business show, whether it be in the afternoons or something like that. So if you know anybody, put them in touch with me, would you? If somebody that's wanted to get into this business as well, it'd be great to talk to them and see if anything can move forward with that. Of course, you just saw the ad there for the Real Matrix Fridays, 10 a.m., including this week. A new episode will be out here at Robat TV. Then at noon, it goes out on the podcast systems at the Real Matrix. Or if you type in Real Matrix Angry Patriot, it'll pop right up for you. Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart. Pops right up for you for those of you that want to listen to it out there. And of course, the Real Matrix also on Rumble now as well. The YouTube has to kind of change a little bit based off of YouTube's terms of service. But so it is officially up at Rumble now as well for those of you that want to watch the show out there and share it with your friends. Please do so. We'd appreciate that. We're going to still do stuff with the YouTube page with it. We just have to, put some highlights and things up like that, and to get them up there as well. And we're working on that as well. But Rumble, free podcast system, noon on Fridays, 10 o'clock here, Robat TV. As soon as we're done here, we'll get this up on demand as well. We do seem to get more on-demand views, but we also get more live views here with these morning shows as well. It's not about the ratings for us here. It's what makes it convenient and what you guys want to see from us here. Of course, with our production company, TME Media, and then what we put out. And we're seeing those feedbacks there. Some people have reached out as well. You can reach out to me anytime. SMAC500 is my personal X, or any of the show X's as well. You can hit up and it will get to me out there as well. But as soon as we get done, we put this up on demand, Robat TV, the production YouTube page as well. No podcast for this show. We roll right into the main event here today with me and 17-year NFL veteran Dale Hellestrae as well. We'll talk a lot of sports out there, including the Suns are just in a lot of trouble with their injuries, and we'll have to talk about that coming up as well. Bobby Hurley, some more fisticuffs last night from him and his team. Of course, against, I believe it was TCU last night as well. We'll get into all of that. 8 to 10 live. And then, of course, after that, on demand here at Robat TV and on the YouTube page. Free podcast system at TME Sports Show is where you can find that. Follow us on X at TME Sports Show as well for that show. And then the Pit Stop Look Ahead show will be up tomorrow for you. We look ahead. We already did the Look Back show to Atlanta here on Monday. That is up for you. We look ahead to COTA this weekend, Circuit of the Americas. First street course here for the NASCAR guys. And, of course, things get a little different here when you get on street courses. We'll talk about all of that and more. Be up Thursday, tomorrow for you as well for the Look Ahead show on the Pit Stop this week. All that being said, futures are there. The market's about to open here at 7:30, basically 1 minute from now. Let's get into the Market Watch. So these are all futures numbers here as the market's getting ready to open here in about a minute. Look at this. Dow futures are up 218 points right now. The S&P 500 is up 31 points for its futures. The NASDAQ right now is up 108 points for the NASDAQ here this morning for its futures as well. NVIDIA, Oracle shares are kind of driving the markets this morning. NVIDIA, by the way, reports here later on today. Russell 2K is up 19 points here today as well. And look, the NVIDIA numbers are going to be huge. They're going to blow the market out. It's already probably built into the markets. Will there be disappointment from NVIDIA? That will kind of roil the markets here coming up as well. But then there's Bitcoin. Yes, it's up 2,400 points today in pre-market trading, overnight trading. But it's still at the 66,531 points difference as of right now, and it's just stuck in the 60,000 level. Stocks we're paying attention to right now, well, Lucid Group is what we're going to talk about as the market bell is happening here at 7:30 Phoenix time, by the way. Lucid, of course, based out of the Bay Area, San Francisco area, but they do have the plant down here in Casa Grande, so we pay attention to them. 5.08% up yesterday at closing as well. Well, they're down 4% here in pre-market trading. In their fourth quarter, Lucid posted a wider than expected loss. Yeah, they had a loss of $3.62 per share, even though they had revenue that did top estimates for Lucid. We know that they recently cut its U.S. workforce by 12%. Reportedly, the reporting was yesterday, not affecting the Casa Grande plant down there at all. It's going to affect other portions of the company. But look, their price per share down. The loss is wider than expected, but revenue was more there for Lucid Group there, but they are down about 4% here in pre market trading. And then we got Lowe's, right? The home improvement retailer. Obviously, their competitor is Home Depot out there, and Home Depot had a good report, and stock was up. Lowe's finished yesterday, Tuesday, 1.54% up. Now they're down about 3% here in pre market trading here this morning. They issued lower than expected forward guidance for its bottom line through January of 2027. So their forecasted earnings is going to be in the range of $12.25 to $12.75 per share, is what they said they're going to do. Yeah, the consensus estimate, $12.90. Home Depot had good numbers and forecast. Lowe's is the opposite here as direct competitors out there. Lowe's did beat its adjusted earnings and revenue for the fourth quarter of last year at their announcement as well. Here was their quote that everybody's kind of sticking to in their reporting. Quote, while the housing macro remains pressured, we are focused on directing what is within our control, which includes our ongoing productivity initiatives. They put that out in a statement yesterday. Look, Home Depot and Lowe's both being affected by the housing market. People aren't buying houses, aren't doing big renovations right now, interest rates, etc. People aren't moving. We know that as well out there, and it's hurting these companies. Home Depot has found kind of a way around it. Lowe's obviously struggling with it from that side. And a company we haven't looked at in a while, but look, this hit the market last year and was a wildly successful IPO here. We're talking about Circle. It's a stable coin issuer type company. Their pre-market trading here, they're up 18% in pre-market trading as of right now, as well as the market is opening up. And it's largely due to its strong dollar peg token adoption. If you don't understand stable coins, you're not alone. But basically, it's a coin that is attributed to a certain entity. In this case, the dollar bill is what it's attached to. So Circle reported that $167 million in EBITDA on revenue of $770 million for the fourth quarter of 2025. That did tap the estimates out there. The estimates were $130.8 million. They came in at $167 million, as I said, as well. And that EBITDA there. Their revenue came in at $770 million. Well, the expectation was only $747.9 million on that as well. Circle also highlighted that $75.3 billion worth of USDC tokens were in circulation by the end of last year. This is the number that shocks me here. 72% increase from the previous year, folks, for that USDC token. So, look, say what you want. Circle's having continued success here in this stablecoin market that they do operate in as well out there. And let's get into our local stories here as well as we are rolling through this Wednesday edition of McCollum on Business with the market opened up now and everything. Well, a lot of people say spring training's in town. It gives us more traffic, but you look into what the economic impact is. We always get reports after the spring training season, right, on what the impact was, in terms of dollars in, travel in, tourists, et cetera, to come watch these games. But we kind of have some predictions here as well on what that economic impact is from spring training here in Arizona. And this year you have the WBC. I was reading that some Florida teams are coming to Arizona to play for a week or so to get out of Florida for a little bit with the WCBC going on. So what they're expecting is 1 million fans are expected to attend spring training games here over the next 5 weeks. So, spring training, unlike, like the Waste Management Open, the WM Open, unlike the Final Four, women's Final Four that's coming up, although that's contained to either one weekend or one day. Spring training, of course, is not contained to that area. It's about a 5 or 6 weeks spread here over the valley as well. And it's also spread across the valley, right? 10 different stadiums here in the Phoenix area as well. So the Common Sense Institute of Arizona is estimating that out-of-state visitors are going to spend between $210 and $590 million this season. And that's a huge gap there. But even if it's the low end, that's $210 additional million. Total attendance is projected to be at 1.8 million spectators here for spring training as well. So it just kind of gives you the idea of what's expected going into this spring training year here as well. And it's a weird one because the WBC, a lot of players get up and leave to go play in that World Baseball Classic. So it's going to be a weird spring training as well in terms of who can see what and who's going to be here. Big name guys will be gone for a little bit, but that's still huge numbers there in terms of affecting the Arizona market. And another thing is, this company has been based here for a while, and we're talking about Night Swift here, of course. And an affiliate of Night Swift has basically bought or, purchased a 24-acre former FedEx terminal out there in the West Valley as well. 72nd Avenue is where that's at. It's about a $30 million deal. It did close last Wednesday. So they want to put that site back into heavy freight use as well. The buyer here is like I said, is a subsidiary of Night Thing, which means they're buying it under a different name. But the buyer does intend to occupy the property for its own operations. So it's a idle building as of now. And only a small slice of the yard has been leased to Amazon for vehicle parking is all it's been doing out there in that area. So they plan to use this Phoenix facility for local distribution and staging and occupy that once dormant building in land area, 24-acre land area here or there. So if you live in that area or you drive around that area, you see some more activity in that area as well with trucks and things to that effect as well. And it's been a while since I got you an update here on that Ritz Carlton up there in Paradise Valley. So we'll end the show with that update here as well. So they're in Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. There's a big fight between lenders. There's a big fight between developers out there. Well, now we know that in this Chapter 11 bankruptcy, that developer of the Ritz Carlton Paradise Valley, which is a $2 billion entity that they're building up there, but also the Palmyra Luxury Residential Development is what they're working on. Well, they've secured financing to complete construction of those condominium villas. They've been trying to get underway for a while now. Earlier this month, the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for Southern District of Texas, well, they approved up to $32 million in debtor in possession financing. That came from BH Capital Ventures, by the way, if you care about that. The loan does include approval of up to $24.6 million in cash collateral for villa construction. That does allow work to accelerate and move more homes toward completion and delivery, which obviously means more money for the developer as well as they sell stuff out there. A spokesperson for the Scottsdale-based five-star development, they're the developer of the 122-acre luxury master plan community, is giving us all of this information. So DIP financing and cash collateral orders are in place. Five Star is working to advance negotiations with stakeholders. They want to do a fundraising effort. Now, the goal is of pursuing a confirmable plan of reorganization to get that Ritz-Carlton project back started again and eventually get that completed with their financing as well. Five Star and its lender, New York-based Madison Realty, if you remember, well, they've been in a big legal battle over financing for the construction project. There was fear from Five Star that Madison Realty was going to force them into, foreclosure so they could take over the project, and all those rumors were out there. But it looks again, for you people that live up in that area, you drive by that disgusting, half-built building up there and then just stalled site up there in the Paradise Valley. That's supposedly going to start getting underway again. And I don't know if our charts have updated yet. The markets are open right now. So let's throw up the market chart again. Let's just see if our charts have updated. They do work on a delay, if you don't know out there. And everything has opened up. I can tell you right now here on the market, everything has opened up on the plus side here. And yes, the charts are correct here. So it's no longer future pricing. This is what the market's doing. 245 points up for the Dow, 40 points up for the S&P 500 here as well, starting. Of course, NVIDIA and Oracle are driving these things up here today as NVIDIA is reporting their numbers later today. NASDAQ's up 233 points to that 49,000. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Dow there is what I'm looking at. Our NASDAQ link is broken. I have to go to something else there on that. The Russell 2K is up the 4 points as well, but the Nasdaq's up 117 points to open up as well for it. So positivity here on the market. And folks, appreciate you joining me here on this Wednesday edition of McCollum on Business. Be back tomorrow, Thursday, 7 a.m. as well. It'll be the last show of this week tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Monday as well. So come and join us. Catch us on demand. Share us with your friends, folks. We'll see you in a little bit. Have a great day. The main event coming up next, 8 to 10. Come and join us, would you? We'll see you then, everybody.